You wait 2 years for a drone to come along with a new C1 classification, and when one finally does, the CAA change the rules and pull the rug right from underneath you. Hello, I'm Ian and I play with drones, and here I am up in the staggeringly beautiful North Pennines up in County Durham. And if you are an owner of one of the new DJI Mavic 3 Classics sporting this lovely new C1 classification that was supposed to give you so many additional rights to fly in different areas, sadly after a pretty disappointing announcement from the CAA yesterday, this is pretty much the sort of countryside you will be relegated to flying with. Because as I said yesterday, the CAA made an announcement. It was highlighted to me by my friend Sean Geeks Varner. I'll put a little link to his video and channel below. You'll recall earlier on in the year, the CAA held a consultation. They reached out to the drone community to ask our thoughts on what they should do regarding extending the transition period, which is basically a set of rules that was going to allow us to continue flying unclassified drones, which is pretty much every drone in existence in the UK that was not supporting these new C classifications. And they wanted to know what we thought we should do. Frankly, manufacturers weren't quite ready. There weren't any drones being produced with the new C classifications, so they asked us, should we extend it? We came back with a very resounding yes, and they actually confirmed that they'd listened and they were indeed going to extend the transition period subject to confirmation from the Department for Transport. Yesterday, the DFT and the CAA made the announcement that they were indeed extending the transition period, allowing us to continue flying these unclassified drones pretty much as we are for at least another 3 years. What wasn't expected though was the second part of the announcement, where the DFT was stating they were also going to change the regulations to specifically not recognise the new C classifications that were coming in on new drones. In fact, they go on now to start referring to these as European or EU C markings, and they go on to mention that of course you'll be able to fly drones with these new C classifications in the UK, but you would not be able to take advantage of the extra provisions and rights gained in the A1 flight category, which is basically in more congested areas. So put simply, a new drone like the Mavic 3 Classic that has this C1 classification, instead of being able to be flown in towns and cities and congested areas right up to but not over uninvolved people, instead, as a result of yesterday's announcement, you will only be able to fly it at least 150 metres from any congested residential, industrial or recreational area, so pretty much in the open countryside like this. If you've done the additional training and got the A2 CFC, then nothing really changes. You're allowed to fly in congested areas, but you've got to maintain a 50-metre horizontal gap between your drone and any uninvolved person, which is not very easy to do when you're flying in a congested area. So it's a little bit of a shame, because whilst the A2 CFC gives you a wealth of information that is really useful for you to know as a pilot, it really isn't bringing any extra benefits with regards to where you can fly. Those benefits were due to come in with new C-marked drones, and now they're not going to happen. And this is beyond infuriating really, because as our friends in Europe now can finally start reaping the benefits of new drone models that come to market with these new C classifications and can start flying them in more areas, here in the UK, we are just going to be stuck in the same quagmire of rules that we've had for the last 2 years, and frankly now will carry on for at least another 3 years. And as you might have expected, this announcement has not gone down well in the drone community, and a lot of people are actually venting their frustrations, and rightly so, because I think this does show the CAA in, frankly, quite a poor light. They've worked hard with manufacturers over the last 2 years to agree safety standards and features to be incorporated in drones, and just as they finally start getting these drones with these features installed, the CAA have just basically turned around and said, actually, you know what, we're going to look into it again and we're going to ignore these markings for the time being. I do hope that a bit of common sense is going to prevail. Of course, yes, extend the transition period, but it seems wrong to actually turn your back and now not recognise the C markings and all the safety features that have gone into a drone in order to be able to display and carry that C marking. whilst you're looking for a viable alternative, then fine. But yeah, we can't be left in limbo like this. It literally is just the worst of both worlds. It does tend to reinforce my view the other week I said, where frankly, the Mini 3 Pro or any other model that is under 250 grams is pretty much the only model that you should be considering if you live in the UK, unless you're wanting to fly in countryside like this, because until this is resolved, basically any drone over 250 grams will have to be flown in open countryside like this, unless you have the A2 CFC, in which case you still need to maintain that 50-meter distance. So whichever way you look at it, it's a very, very poor result for us. Anyway, thanks again to Sean for highlighting that to me. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this situation, what you perhaps think the CAA should do. Always interesting to hear your thoughts. Don't give a thumbs down to the video. All that'll do is tell YouTube that you hate me and my videos, which I don't know, maybe you do. But do let me know what you think. It is a very disappointing turn of events. And yeah, I'm hoping that maybe a bit of common sense will prevail regardless. Anyway, lots of flying to do in this amazing countryside. So wherever you are in the world, until next time, have fun, happy flying.